Effective delegation. Now, this is a skill set that so many people struggle with, is to be able to delegate, to let go of control, especially when you're somebody who is fully committed, dedicated, and experienced. You're like, for you to let go of something important, it's like, oh man, they better not mess it up, right? Or they're going to make me look bad, or they're going to mess up all kinds of things that I built and established and implemented. And a lot of times we have to be able to allow them to make some mistakes as they're going in order for them to learn and really commit and take responsibility to those new tasks, to that new position, whatever it is, for them to succeed in it, right? But it's our jobs as leaders to be able to set them up for success. We want them to be able to win no matter what project, task, position that we are now handing over to them. And even if it's something simple as, okay, now you're going to take over these emails or my calendar. Not that that's always simple, right? But, whatever it is, you being able to pass that over is really important for them to grow. If you're not delegating, you're holding people back. If you're not delegating, you're holding yourself back, because delegation is one of the most important things when it comes to leadership, because it's not just about, offloading task and getting it off of you. It's about amplifying your impact. It's about amplifying the revenue that you're bringing in for your department. It's about amplifying those sales, amplifying where you're saving money for the business, for the corporation. Maybe you're helping them not build or bring in money, but you're helping to save money, cut cost, right? Whatever it is, you learning how to delegate is going to allow you to have more impact, to have your department to have more impact, to have the company to have more impact. But there's a lot of things that come with it, right? So look, strategic delegation can increase, write this down, your team's productivity by 33%. Just by and it's not because you're doing more work now. It's not because you're putting in more hours or working late hours or weekends. It's not because of that. It's just you implementing delegation processes to train them, prepare them. Your whole department, the business, is going to increase by 33% just as you begin to strategically delegate. Come on. Yeah, but yet many leaders, they hesitate to do this because there's all these, I don't want to assign all these complex responsibilities to people and, set them up for failure. Why do we do this? Why do we as leaders hold back to really delegate and effectively do it? Why? There's so many things, right? A lot of times we as leaders haven't been taught how to do it. We don't know how. And we don't have a framework. We don't have the processes. We don't have the mindset yet. Maybe you've never done it before. You've never been there. Okay. But we have to learn, right? We have to learn fast a lot of times. Now, why at a deeper level do people have a hard time to delegate? Maybe make sure you guys are taking notes here. One, fear of mistakes, right? They don't want to make mistakes. You have the perfectionist. I know I can be a perfectionist where I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to fail. I don't want to do it wrong. But a lot of times that's what is a part of the process. That way you can optimize. So it's not about panicking. Oh, I made a mistake. It's about pivoting, preparing, processing to make sure things don't happen like that again, right? So it's that fear of mistakes, that want of perfection that really holds people back when it comes to delegating. Also, lack of trust. I want to, but I don't really trust that they're going to be able to do it. I don't trust that they're going to be able to handle this event. I don't trust that they're going to close this client. I don't trust that they're going to be able to handle this personality. There's a lack of trust. And this is where, okay, whose fault is that, right? We don't want to just say, oh, it's because I don't trust them. Then what do you need to do there, especially if you're leading them and you're supposed to be building them? What do you need to do there to have some trust both ways, so that way we can get to the bigger cause, the bigger purpose of what we're supposed to be doing here in our department, in our company? You don't want to have that lack of trust. Okay, so that we need to overcome that fear of mistakes, want it to be perfect, and know that's a part of the process, right? Actually, you should be making mistakes and fixing them as fast as you can and preventing them from happening again. This is normal. This is how you grow, right? You need to fix that lack of trust if there's lack of trust there. Lack of trust in yourself, maybe. Build, hey, you know what? I can do this, right? Lack of trust in that person you're going to delegate. Hey, they can do this, and I'm going to ensure by training them, put in all the documentation, the scripts, whatever they need, so that way they can win, right? I'm going to set them up to win. So if I don't trust their ability, I'm going to make sure I build their ability so that way I can gain that trust in them, right? We got to put that on ourselves. And then also uncertainty on how to delegate effectively. People don't know how to do it. They've never done it before, and they don't want to make mistakes. They want to build the trust with the team. Maybe they were a part of the team and now they've been promoted, and it's like, oh, now who are you to tell me? Oh, now you think you're somebody now, right? There's a lot of that stuff that happens in this world of, are you going to be delegating? Right. So this is effective delegation 101. And I'm going to get into three different things here, three main topics on delegation, and then some practical tips of what you can do, how you to do it to make sure you can implement these things today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, because that's where you want to get results, right? You want to get results today. Come on. So make sure you guys are taking notes, and it's not just to learn it. It's not just to be able to repeat back when we start doing exercises here, right? When we start doing role play exercises, engagement, it's not just be able to read your notes and say, okay, this is what I got. No, this is for you to go out and apply it, to get rewarded for it. So I'm telling you, these things work only when you work it. Now, remember, a lot of these things are common sense. So even if you heard them before and you're like, oh, I do that, common sense is not always common practice. So even though maybe you've heard about this or you've done it sometimes, you need to do this intentionally every time for you to get that result every time, okay? Number one, choose strategic task. When it comes to delegation, a lot of times we don't delegate because we're delegating, or we don't delegate effectively because we're delegating the wrong task. So delegating the wrong task can waste a lot of freaking time and energy and money when you're not delegating the right thing. So what do you need to do here? Focus on high effort. Those low skill tasks that set you free so that way you can focus on your priorities. So you can even do this exercise where, well, this could be a part of your exercise here, right? Where you write down a list of all your priorities, right? On the left side. Like you can make two little columns on the left side. Do this quickly as we're talking right here. That way we can stop and then hear what you have here, okay? So write these down. Here we go. Here's the exercise. You have a line, you have two columns. Left side, you're gonna write priorities. Right side, you're gonna write time spent. Okay, let's do this quickly. Don't get stuck in your head. It's not about perfection. On the left side, what does it say? Priorities. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to write down at least 5. We'll do 5 right now for time's sake, but if you can do more later, even better for you. But let's focus on 5 right now. 5 priorities, the things that are most important on your day-to-day work, on your weekly work, on your monthly work. What's the most important things that you need to be doing when it comes to your activities for your job? Okay, write that down. 5 things real quick. You don't need to have them in order. Just write them down there, okay? Just let them flow, okay? This is a priority. This is important. This is important. At least 5 there, okay? Now, on the right side, keep it going. Don't get distracted. Listen to me as you're writing those things down. On the right side where it says time spent on top, I want you to think of your day and think like, okay, where is most of my time going? And think of like this last week. Think of your normal day. What takes up most of your time? And I want you to write that at least 5 on the right side. You don't need to write them in order. Okay, right now you're just going to get a list of what takes up most of your time on a daily basis. So go ahead and think of your day. You get up and you do what? Like what takes up a lot of your time when it comes to you being at work specifically. Okay, you can do this for your personal life another time, but right now we're thinking at work. When you get up, or when you get to work, I should say, and then from when you leave, what takes up most of your time? Okay. So now what you do is you go back, you have a list of 5 on the left side that says, here are my 5 top priorities. On the right side, you have, here are the top 5 things that take most of my time every day. Okay. So now on the left side, which is the most important out of those 5? Go ahead and put a number 1 next to it. What comes next? Put a 2 next to it. And then 3 and 4 and so on until you have them all. Now they're numbered. Okay. Now you're going to do the same thing on the right side. Out of those 5 things that I'm saying take up most of my time, which one takes up most when I'm at work? Boom, I'm going to put a 1 next to it. Which is the second one that takes up most of my time? Put a 2, 3, 4, and 5, and so on. Do it quickly. All right. Because as you start to do this, you're going to start to see how they're not all in alignment. Right? You see that? Like they don't match. So, man, I'm saying that this is the priority and the most important, but yet I'm not giving it the most of my time. I'm not giving it the most of my energy, right? So you start to see that there's some things that are not in alignment. So what do? We don't panic. We don't beat ourselves up. We just start to prepare. We start to pivot. We start to move some things around, right? Now, when you start to do that, what are some of those high effort, low skill tasks that you can give away, that you can delegate to somebody else? Those things that are taking up most of your time. What are some of those things that they're high focus, that you don't need a lot of skill to do it? Maybe sometimes admin things, things that are taking up your time. Which one or two of those things can you begin to delegate to somebody else? Okay, and that's going to free you up to start to focus on what's more important here, right? So there's something called the 80-20 rule, where you delegate tasks that fall in your 80% of the work that contributes to the core of what you do. So there's usually like 80% of what you do gives you the 20 results, right? So in those 20 are the most important things that get you the results. So if you write down 10 things that you're doing, right? 2 of those are the most important things that are going to drive the most important results for you. So all those other 8 things, which one or 2 of those things can you now delegate? Okay, another way to look at it. So here's something to ask yourself as you're beginning to do this. Does this task require my expertise, or can somebody else handle it? Ask yourself these questions as you're looking at those things that are taking up your time and energy. Does this task require my expertise? Does it require it? Or can somebody else handle this? Something that will help you to know what you can delegate, right? Because you need to pick 1 or 2 things that you can start to delegate. Next one, avoid delegating tasks that are too critical or undefined. So if it's way too important, then you don't want to delegate that. Now, especially even if it's simple, but you don't have it documented, you don't have it clearly, like clear of what they'll need to be doing, because that's not going to help you either, right? So if you do have something that, oh, they can do this, but yeah, it's not very clear right now. It's not defined. There's not clear process documented. So create one real quick. And then you can go over it with them and do a little bit of field training, some little shadow training, making sure they know how to do what you're telling them to do, right? And you set them up for success. You have them written down in steps. You do some Q&A with them. You do some role play with them. That way they can feel confident about doing that task, and you feel confident about delegating it. Yes? All right, so that was step 1. So choose strategic task. So this is you doing the exercise and knowing, okay, this is what I'm saying is important. This is where it's taking up more of my time. It's not matching. Okay, the stuff that's taking my time, what falls into that 80%, the stuff that, yeah, I'm not saying it's not important, but don't need my expertise. Don't need me to be there, right? And okay, and I'm going to delegate these 1 or 2 things. Now, are they clearly defined? Do I have processes, a system broken down so that way I can effectively hand it over? If not, then you need to create that real quick. Don't take long, right? Number two, that moves us to number 2. Create a delegation plan, right? Now, this is going to help you to not have this confusion, and confused people don't do anything. So you're going to be confused and you're going to like, we'll just figure out together, right? And then you start to delegate to them and you start to figure it out together, and they're confused and you're confused, and it's very draining and frustrating for both sides. So make sure that you provide clear instructions, the resources, the deadlines. Make sure everything's clear as to what you're handing over, and even have it documented. Sit down, go over it, ask them for feedback, ask them if they have any questions or concerns. What do they need? Start providing some other trainings and things, and put them on the schedule so they're expected. All these are a part of what? Creating a delegation plan. You want to set them up for success. So you want to have some clear instructions, resources, and deadlines, right? So here are some tips to help you to get this together. Okay. So outline the what, the why, the how of the task. So here's the goal. This is why it matters. And here are the steps that you need to do to complete it. Yes? Did you get that? Write it down. So look at outline the what, the why, and the how for the task. Okay. The 1 or 2 things that you're choosing that you're going to delegate to, whether you know who you're going to delegate to or not, you still can create this process. So that way, when you know the who, you can pass it on. Okay. Now, even thinking, if you already know the person, then I want you to be thinking of the who as you're writing this, because it needs to be clearly communicated to them. You need to follow up. So you're going to outline right now okay, what am I going to delegate? Why am I going to delegate this? What are they going to do? Why are they doing it? And how are they going to do it? Okay, so here is like broken down right here. So here is the goal. Here is the goal. This is the what. This is why it matters. And here are the steps to complete it. Okay. Now at this point, you share your tools, any templates, any charts, any graphics, any handbooks, anything that you have that will help them and support them. Now you give this to them. Right. Then also set some deadlines, some milestones of like, okay, here are some goals. This is where you should be like within 3 days. This is where you should be in that first week. This is where you should be in that second week, that first month, first 30, 60, 90 days. Set some deadlines for them with some milestones, some things that they need to reach for, and track their progress. So that way you can go back and check on them and see what kind of support they need. This is how you effectively delegate. It's simple, common sense, but not common practice. All right. So you already did number one, which is okay, I'm going to choose strategic task. You already did your exercise. Okay, these are the things that I'm going to delegate, one or two, right? Then you're going to pick your delegation plan. You're going to create one, and you're going to ask those questions that, okay, well, here is the goal. This is why it matters. This is the steps to complete it. You're going to write that out because this is what you're going to give to them and share with them and teach them so that way they know what they need to do. And with any tools or templates or things that you have with that, you're going to give that to them as well with some clear deadlines and timelines and how you're going to track their progress. All this is broken down, written down, documented, shared with them. There's like this one-on-one interaction to make sure that they get it, right? So now, you guys following and taking your notes here, because now we need to, you guys need to do this stuff, right? You need to pick who you're going to do it with. You need to actually take a couple of minutes and write out your delegation plan. You need to actually have it out. All right, here's number 3. Empower ownership. Empower ownership. So it's not about micromanaging. Yes, you need to lead them, influence them, keep them accountable, train them. You're going to be interacting with them a lot. So when I say don't micromanage, doesn't mean like, oh, it's their job, or it's your job to make sure they succeed as a leader, to delegate, right? And you can't just put it on them and blame them. But managing, like if you're like over every freaking detail and they can feel like the pressure there and they feel negative all the time, that's going to reduce stress. It's going to reduce their creativity. It's going to reduce their commitment. So you don't want to get into that. But of course, you want to be clear instructions, give them clear what they need to be doing, what the boundaries are, and encourage and build them. And you're still staying connected with them throughout the whole thing. That way they feel supported, right? But you're not every little detail. You're letting them learn. Okay, so here's some practical tips as you're doing this, as you guys are taking ownership of it, okay? Allowing them to take ownership, for them to, hey, this is yours. You do it. So here's some language that you can use with your team as you're getting them to take ownership. Hey, I trust your judgment on how you're going to approach this. I trust you. You're smart. You're going to figure this out. You know, like you got to put it back on them in a very positive framework, right? So not only this, but set decision-making parameters of what they can do and what they can't do. So, hey, feel free to make changes as long as you stay within this budget, right? So these things and these things, hey, go for it. I trust what you're doing there. You're clear where we're going. But if it gets into this area, make sure you confirm and get approval from me first, right? But you have to be clear on these things. So you can set those parameters as to what they can do and what they can't do. But again, this needs to be clearly communicated, documented, make sure that they understand, okay? Another thing is to offer support without like doing it for them. You want them to do it. This is their goal, their project. They need to like really take responsibility for it, right? But you want to offer the support so they feel supported, they feel confident without taking over. So let me know if you hit any roadblocks. Let me know if you have any problems. Just come to me. I'm here. Just ask me. I'll be able to help you, okay? Then you can go and check on them. Hey, how you doing? You have any questions? You need anything from me? And you're showing that you're there, but you're not doing it for them, right? But then again, you have to make sure you have those clear targets, those clear goals, the timelines, so they know what they're working for, not just going through the motions. All right, so those are the 3 things right there. Number 1, choose those strategic tasks. We're talking about how to delegate effectively. How you're going to delegate effectively is 1, know what you need to delegate, right? Those things that take a lot of time, don't need a lot of skill sets. Let me pass those over. I told you what kind of questions to ask yourself, how to filter which things you should be delegating, what task. And then you can, okay, now I know I'm going to delegate these things to who? Now I need to create my plan, right? I need to have those clear instructions, what resources, the deadlines, by asking those other questions of here's the goal, why it matters, here's the steps you need to do it, and then give them everything they need, communicate it to them, and then I can start to empower them, number 3, to take ownership of this new task, of this new project, of this new responsibility, right? And I gave you guys some wording to use to make sure you're setting up as positive thing, but like you're giving them parameters. You're showing them exactly what to expect and what you expect, right? So here are the 3 things here for your exercise to bring it all together. Hope you guys wrote these things down already and did these exercises, right? So first, identify what is the strategic thing for you to delegate. What do you need to delegate? 1 or 2 things. You guys have that, right? 1 or 2 things. Now, the second thing is you need to create your delegation plan. So you're going to outline what's the task, okay, what's needed, what's the goal, what are the resources that they're going to need to be successful in this, and what is the timeline. That needs to be written down and put together. That's what you need to do, all right? Third thing, the third part of this exercise, now you're going to share it and get feedback, okay? Share it so you can refine your plan and make it better so that way you can go and start to do your delegating. You got that? All right, so that's the main exercise there. Do it, come and share, and then I'm gonna get this, you guys can stop me there and I can just give you the summary. So I'm gonna get to the summary now. So for your summary, we're talking about effective delegation 101, and we're talking about how effective delegation is gonna do what? It's gonna amplify your results. It's gonna amplify the return that your team is creating, which makes you look good, but how do you do it? You need to choose those strategic tasks that you're going to delegate first. Identify what you're going to delegate. You need to get some clear plans, document them, communicate about them, and then empower them to take ownership. And this is what's going to help to free you up and to be able to put your time and energy into things that will help you and your team win at higher levels. All right, so make sure you guys figure out your task. You're going to break it down and communicate it so that you can start to delegate it. You have all the processes, everything documented. You start to get them to own it, and you keep following up with them to make sure that they're winning, okay? So that's effective delegation 101.